Space Watchers, and good morning from Manchester. It's day number 2 of the UK Space Conference here, and we will continue what we have started yesterday. Today, again, my wonderful co-host is Dasha Filichkina from AstroAgency. Dasha, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Hi, Torsten. Doing okay. I had a very packed day yesterday. So trying to recap everything and looking forward to today's agenda.
Okay, let's try to dismantle what happened yesterday. What is really just an attempt. So let's start with the most important one, the evening. AstroAgency, together with Skyrover, celebrated a space bar live here. How was that? Tell us more about that. All the gossips.
That was amazing. I will not share any gossips. Everything that happens at Space Bar stays there. But the evening was great. It was a very much needed break after a long day. So everyone just enjoyed, had a couple of drinks. We had some good session. Minister Richard Lockhead joined us as well for the keynote for the bar. But generally we had fun and very late night.
Cool. And there was sunshine outside. I mean, how amazing was that? So, there was also another event yesterday what took a lot of your time. That was your workshop. Tell us more about this marketing workshop. Are these just the marketing people gathering and talking about the latest stuff also? How was it? Tell us more about that.
That definitely was a highlight of my day. Thanks for asking. It was a fully packed room of different people. So the audience was in between marketing people and engineers, technical specialists, but also managers and people who work in admin. So I was very pleased to see that high interest in marketing and communicating the message. And generally, I could see that apart from my session, there were lots of sessions around shaping the narrative and how we talk about the space sector and what we deliver to the nation. So I definitely could see the theme, a lot of interest, so hoping for a good change in future. How was your day, Torsten?
I mean, I answered in a second, but can you give us some takeaway from the workshop? Because, I mean, we talk about marketing all the time. Yeah, it's part of literally our life. And so what changed? So what is new? Why is such a workshop obviously important today?
So we all talk about shaping the narrative, right? And how we want to change our message slightly. And we're all trying to find an answer to a question. What is it that we're doing possibly not right? What is it that we could improve? And that workshop basically was an answer to that. We were discussing how to make marketing a more systematic thing rather than chaotic, how to be proactive rather than reactive. And we were talking about the fact that it's not that scary as it might sound, the marketing ecosystem. Really, you don't need a fancy strategy. You just need confidence to share your story. You want to be consistent. You want to look at your touch points. But I can go all into this right now. But I'm sure there will be recording as other sessions as well. So if anyone has interest, they could revisit.
It's interesting that also engineers are now more and more open to marketing and not say, oh, we don't touch it. So that's I think that's something what I sense, that engineers, scientists are more interested to how to communicate their work as well.
Yes, and that's a great observation. The engineers were in the room, they were taking notes. They did agree with me on all the conflict points about, we were talking about clarity versus accuracy, and I was trying to persuade them that probably you don't have to be 100% accurate on the very first interaction if you want to bring clarity to the room. But, they are in the room, they are engaging in this conversation, and this is a great shift just now that we see.
Good. Now answering your question about my day. As well, very packed day, and we have here plenaries, breakout sessions, workshops, the exhibitors, plus one-to-one interviews, press conferences, all at the same time. So it's hard to get everything, but I try to wrap it up as best as I can. One takeaway for me from many of the conversation was the urgency to do something, the urgency, not just to talk about space, but the urgency to act now and put the money where the mouth is. Because we have shrinking budgets, we have external threats that are attacking us literally. And so the urgency of bringing space to the next level was there. Next one, regulation. We need regulation. That sounds a bit strange in a world that is, or at a conference that is called Space for Growth, but we need regulation that space is not becoming the wild, wild west. It is still partially, without any doubt, but we need the regulation to structure it in a way, and we have to start somewhere. And we all are clear, no nation can do it alone, because it doesn't make sense. So, but someone has to start. And I think that's a good intention. That goes in line with the EU Space Act, what many debate and say, oh, we can't do that. I'm a big fan, and I openly say that the intention is good. Implementation is another thing that has to be seen, but the intention is good. Investment, you mentioned it as well. Investment is a big thing, and that's a very specific one, I would say, within Europe for the UK, because here you have a very strong banking sector, and the financial institutes are super interested. So I had in the networking yesterday also someone from a bank, an investment banker, and he said, we want to get our hands on this market as well. And that's a very interesting observation, and something also we hope for over the last years. Resilience, another buzzword as we hear in and out, but resilience means we cannot afford to have a day without space. And that's what it's all about. In our civil life, but also on the military side. So resilience, more systems up in space are important. And then, last but not least, global competition. How do we compete with Americas, with China, with India, with the upcoming markets? How do we compete within Europe as well? I mean, yes, we are one common Europe, but everyone wants to compete here in that. This was the themes I observed. We had the chance to have, I think, 4 UK astronauts here. That was fantastic. Also on the outreach side, obviously, astronauts always are a very important point to talk. What I recognized as well, or what I saw, what I attended was Women in Aerospace. It's not Women in Aerospace, but it was an all-women panel to give women in the sector a specific voice. And we debated about it over years, and that's nothing new, but it happens here. And I think that's the important one. And yes, we want a diversity on the panels, and the women-only panel is not diverse, but it works, and it has to work, and it's a normal thing. It's not something, oh, wow, there is a women panel only. No, it's a normal thing. And we have so many conferences, and I'm referenced to many of the conferences in the last week, EU Space Forum and so on, where we had only men on the panel. And nobody said, oh, there's an only men panel. No, that's where we are coming from. And so it was an observation. Then, in parallel to this event, there's the Air Chiefs Conference in London, and we have heard a live connect to them. And core message, I would say, space is critical, and there's no doubt about it anymore. That's so my observation from yesterday. Did I miss anything?
No, great insights. I think you covered it very well.
And what also I took away, and that was very specific here, and that I say that as a German in the UK right now, is there's an optimism. So it's just stay calm, but there's an optimism for the sector. I think that's great. Where many other countries say, oh, pretty depressive. We don't know what to do.
We were complaining about being in the space bubble long enough, but now everyone is energized, and generally even the sessions names and the messaging of supercharging the sector. So I feel that we're onto something here, right?
And again, I want to point out again to the diversity aspect. What is not just a word here in the UK, it's really lived and breathed by the UK Space Agency, and I think that's very good. So, what's on the agenda on day number 2? Tell me.
Sessions of interest to me are good, practical tactics for space businesses. So as yesterday we were talking a lot about outside communication and what we can do to show ourselves to the world. Today there are lots of sessions that are aimed to equip companies with different strategies around funding, around investment opportunities, skills challenges, several sessions on skills, and this is always a challenge as we know it. So today we're talking about sector specific problems and or challenges and solutions to those challenges. I'm looking forward to a continuation of the conversation of how we bring the value to the nation, and this is a very important one because individually as companies we all know what we do and how we are useful to the wider society, but also hearing this from the main stage, like the messages, the narrative, how we want to shape it, just all I think brings us all under the same umbrella, and we're all using the same messaging that we can deliver. So yeah, and
wasn't there a president in the States that said, don't ask what the nation can do for you, ask yourself what you can do for the nation? So is that now the revival that we see?
Exactly. And speaking of the nation, I'm very interested in listening to the session of space technology insights and what it delivers to NHS. So again, super useful dialogue. I think that it will culminate with something interesting in terms of insights and outcomes. Good. What are you looking forward to?
There's a press conference about the Virtual mission, which I'm really looking forward to because it's a fantastic science mission that will just create breathtaking results. I mean, it's a while. It will take a while until this mission will be started, but it's interesting. And there's a podcasting live. I want to see that. I mean, just out of curiosity, so how we could do that, but why should anyone else do that? Dual use again is a theme, day in, day out, and also launch. Launch is a sector, and I spoke with Dr. Paul Bate about it, and with the minister, Richard Lochett, yesterday, where we stand on that. There is still work to do. And again, Space for Growth, the overarching theme here, will be repeated again and again. And one thing I would like to ask, what we see here in the city is that these days there are graduation day in the schools, and I thought, what a missed opportunity. I mean, these people coming along here, graduating the school, celebrating with their parents, with all the hat and all this cool stuff that they have here, but no one is inside.
Well, that's actually not entirely true, because in my session we had a couple of rounds of applause to people who graduated yesterday, because as I was talking to the audience about who are students, and some people raised their hands and said, we have actually just graduated. I was so happy to see them, and we properly celebrated that success, their graduation.
Fantastic. That's great. So I take my statement back. Great. So another day in front of us here, and as the light rain starts here right now, we would better go inside. Thank you very much for your interest, and with that, SpaceWatch out here from Manchester.